guys, welcome to this tutorial video for the Baby Shusher. My name is Maria and I run the blog Happy Mum, Happy Child. It's all about activities for kids, recipes for kids and keeping sane as a parent because, as we know, it does drive us a little bit crazy at times. Okay, so to get started, let's get a little bit of background on the Baby Shusher and how it came about. So the Baby Shusher was invented by a couple in America. Now, before the Baby Shusher, this couple had a baby who was quite colicky and obviously would cry all the time, and both of the parents were at their wits' end. So the father actually started doing shushing, using his own voice and shushing, and in the process realized that worked, but it wouldn't work for his wife. So what he did was he recorded his voice, his shushing, gave it to the wife to use, and she used it very successfully, although she could never replicate that using her own voice, and it never seemed to work. So he did some investigating and he found out that in fact shushing has been known to engage the calming reflex of a baby. So a lead pediatrician in the United States, Dr. Harvey Karp, has said this and done a lot of investigating into it. So it has actually been well researched, and it is known to have a calming effect for babies, which is fantastic, and that's where this was born from. So obviously as it has gone along, it's been around for quite a while now, and it's becoming more and more popular. I think we've all seen Kim Kardashian's used it, which is great. I don't think she was paid for that personally. I think that was just she happened to have it on her. And I know a few people myself who have very successfully used it. What is the Baby Shusher for? Primarily, the Baby Shusher is to break a baby's crying cycle. Now, yes, it eventually will help to settle the child and potentially put them to sleep. But its first, number one priority is to calm a child down from crying. When a baby is between the ages of 0 to 6 months, all they can do to communicate is to cry. And so once you know that your baby is fed, is warm, is swaddled, is dry, not wet, and they're still crying, then chances are they're overtired. And it can be really, really hard to snap them out of that cycle, and that's when you bring the big guns in and you use your Baby Shusher. The idea is that it needs to be loud, okay? Because a baby's crying is going to be loud, you need it to be just as loud, if not louder, so that it can really click them out of it. So what you do is you turn it on. Now I'll turn it on now. And that's how loud it goes. It's quite loud. Yeah. Okay. Now that's not going to wreck your baby's or the baby's ears. Like I just said before, they've come out of an environment where it's extremely loud. So 95 decibels is absolutely fine. So what you would do is you would turn this on as loud as it can go while the baby's crying. Pop it maybe a foot away from them, and just let the Baby Shusher do its work. And in most cases, it will help to calm the baby down and to bring the baby out of that crying state. Now, if for some instance it doesn't work, I mean, it's not, it'd be great if there was one thing fixes all in this perfect situation, but every baby is different. And if for some reason the baby doesn't settle or start to come out of that crying cycle with the shusher, then the parent needs to change it up a bit. Potentially what you need to do is pop the shusher in here and have your baby here and move around with the baby. Oh, maybe not like this, you don't really need that in your boobs. But have the speaker out and hold the baby and move around with it. Change the setting, just really, if one thing doesn't work, there are 100 other ways to do it, okay? And so once this starts, you've got it up really loud, and the baby starts calming down, that's when the magic starts to happen. So what you do when the baby starts to calm down, you turn the volume down. Take it from this down to halfway, and you just let the shusher do its job. Okay, those relaxing shushers will come in and will just help that baby settle even more and hopefully go into a lovely deep sleep. you don't have to use the Baby Shusher just for calming a baby. Ultimately, you want to create a wee sleep association so that the baby understands that when this is on, it's time to go to sleep or it's time to relax. And so the best time to do that is when they're born. So take this wee puppy into the maternity ward when you're about to have the baby. And as soon as that baby's born, every nap time, just pop it on for 30 minutes. There's 2 timers here, 15 and 30 minutes. Pop it on for 30 minutes every single nap time. Pram, car, cot, wherever, so that that baby knows that this relaxing sound means it's time to breathe in, breathe out. It's time to be calm and it's time to relax. And so that means that when the baby does start to panic, especially if they're colicky or overtired, which happens so often as a parent, then it means that they will instantly know that this means it's time to settle. Now, the Baby Shusher is actually designed for 0 to 4 month old babies, which is the 4th trimester in a woman's pregnancy. And ideally, you would use it from the beginning, but in fact, you can actually use it further than 4 months. As I've explained previously, it can be used as calming, it can be used as getting to sleep. I know that putting it in your shirt like this while your baby's on you just at night is fantastic. I know quite a few people have toddlers who it's very effective for, and I've said this before, I can attest to that. My 2-year-old still uses something very, very similar. And I also know that parents use it as well. I've been known to listen to something as well at night time, and it definitely helps to get off to sleep. Let's just go over a couple of troubleshooting pointers if people have any issues. Now, there's not a lot of things that you can go wrong with this little wee thing, but one of the things are the batteries. Now, it takes 2 AA batteries, but they have to be non-rechargeables. If they're rechargeable batteries, the sound that gets produced by the Shusher is definitely not right. So you're better to just stick with a really good quality AA battery. And when the batteries start to run out, instead of being this nice lulling shh, it goes shh, 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 shh. Now that means that the batteries are just running flat and it just can't get enough power to push through the proper shushers. So when you hear that sound, it's definitely time to change the batteries. Okay, and another quick tip. Now I touched on this. It's troubleshooting, but it's not really specifically for the Baby Shusher. It's more for the technique. If for some reason the parent is really struggling to get the child to settle, don't give up. It's the worst you can do. You need to keep persevering with it. Every baby is different. Every baby responds to things differently. And so my piece of advice is to try something different. I've covered this before. Pop it in your shirt. Take your baby, walk around. I used to put my babies up here and I used to rock them backwards and forwards like this. I continue to do that now even when I'm in the supermarket and I don't have a baby anymore. So parents need to try. Keep trying different things and the baby will eventually settle, because this has been tried and tested to trigger that calming reflex that babies all have. So perseverance is the key. And the last troubleshooting pointer tip, some parents might say, why should I use a Shusher when I can just do it myself? Now, have you ever tried shushing for an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 seconds? It is very, very draining. And it's almost impossible to continue. I can tell you that from experience. So I remember rocking my child going, shh, 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 like, go to sleep, shh. When you start to get them to calm down, you're at the end of it. You're like, oh, I got to do this for another half an hour. So shushing is draining. And so the Baby Shusher just takes the place of you needing to worry about doing that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be there. Like I've explained this whole video, you can still be close to your baby. Like I've shown you, it fits in your shirt, you know. It snuggles into your arm. You can put it wherever. You hide it in my hair, you know, like it's so lovely and compact. It can be with you while you're with your baby, and there really is no need to feel like this is the substitute, because it's not a substitute at all. It's definitely worth it in replacing that shushing sound. Gosh, never want to make that sound again. Thank you guys for watching. All the contact details for contacting Baby Shusher are on the next slide. Thanks again. Bye.